welcome to the very first episode of Loans, Laughs, and Listings. I'm Dave Turgeonowski with Community Lending. With me is my co-host, Deanna Rivera. How you doing, Deanna?
Hi, I'm fantastic. How about you, Dave?
Good. How you feeling about our big launch of this podcast? This episode 1, but let's be honest, it's probably take 7.
Maybe 12. So how do I feel about it? I'm really excited about the information that we're going to be bringing everyone and the value that we're going to be bringing not only to the real estate community, but to any prospective buyers. When it comes to the technology piece, on the other hand, and learning how to work this thing we're working on and, being in front of camera, obviously it always unnerves me, right. But I'm excited about it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm excited. The whole idea when we first talked about doing this is kind of, each week giving some real estate tips, some mortgage insights, and showcasing some properties for this great program that Community Lending and yourself is offering. But really just to keep people's mindset right. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy being in this business again, because too many people that I talk to are not. We're in a tough market right now. Nobody's going to deny that. But is it doom and gloom like everybody's picturing? Absolutely not. Is it always a roller coaster here? I mean, as much as we don't admit it, we live in a resort destination. People come here to vacation. We live here and go to work every day. So one of the big things that we want to talk about was some real estate tips. And we've been working on this Flex program. Go ahead and give me the synopsis on that.
So we brought it out last year as a way to help ease the NAR lawsuits, actually, when we were talking about buyer agent commission, and it kind of morphed into, it's bigger than that, to be able to offer a seller that has a property sitting for, 90 days, a way to stand out in the market amongst all the other listings and offer something to their prospective buyers that helps them get into the home for either less cash out of pocket or a cheaper payment for that first year, is kind of how it rolled into it. So the buyer flex credit is just exactly that. It's up to 1% credit for a buyer to use however their family needs it. So some families would rather have the cheaper payment that first year while we're waiting for rates to come down. And others, they might be a little tight on cash. And so they're looking for a way to cut down on the amount of money that comes out of pocket at closing. So hence the name Buyer Flex Credit. They can use it however they need it, however their family needs it.
And when we first unloaded this, we were actually very excited about the Buyer Flex Credit. But where we're seeing, or at least where I'm seeing a lot of success, is using it with listing agents, because there are so many properties that sit on the market for 100, 120, 150 days. It's a way to separate yourself. And a great agent is always going to come up with a way to separate themselves from everybody else. Those are the guys that are successful. The ones that have the best marketing programs, the ones that have the best relationships with either lenders or however they do it. They literally go above and beyond. And this is a way for agents to do that within a listing without discussing a price decrease, but showing that, hey, I partnered with a company that's really willing to help you get your home sold. Yep. When you say up to 1%, so how does that work? Because most people know that a typical buy down, it comes out of the seller's pocket, it comes out of the buyer's pocket. In this case, that's not true.
No, this is a lender pay buy down, or a lender credit that no cost to the seller, no cost to the agent, no cost to the buyer. It's just our way of giving back to the community, helping ease the market here. Because let's face it, we have two problems going on simultaneously. First one is affordability. People are struggling to get approved, but even when they're struggling to get approved, do they have the cash out of pocket? Or what's that cash flow look like going into their home? So if we can ease the payment for the first year while we're waiting for rates to kind of trickle down, that might take somebody off the fence that's like, I really can't do it today because the rates are just a little too high for my comfort zone. Still have to approve DTI wise, right? Sure. But just because you approve DTI wise doesn't mean on DTI, because I speak in acronyms, means debt to income ratio. Just because a buyer can get an approval with a 56% debt to income ratio doesn't mean it's comfortable for their family. Doesn't mean that they can afford to buy those eggs at the grocery store. We're seeing inflation being an issue for families, and so the cost of a family living today is so much higher. So to be able to help them that first year to get comfortable in their home, and of course, anytime you move into a new home, you have I need that new this, or we need to buy a new couch, or so it eases that payment for that first year. and give them a little breathing room. And I think we talked about this backstage before. Is the other thing is, while rates are still elevated, the inventory is climbing and sellers are more willing to negotiate a little bit more. And so there's some really solid deals coming on market.
Yep.
So it's better to buy now, as we start to see the rates, start to trickle down, because if you look at the difference in savings, they're going to save more buying now with a higher rate than if they were to wait until the rates soften and prices start to come back up again. So
it's funny. I'm a big analogy guy. And I always tell agents that I'm talking to, or even buyers, I'm like, think of the magician that walks around the table on a cruise ship, right? And he's pulling a rabbit out of his hat and everything else. Well, he's got a balloon animal. And when he squeezes this end of the balloon, which is the interest rates, what happens to the other end? It gets bigger. Like there is no, this happens and nothing else. There is a reflex to that, and that is home prices going up. Well, in this industry, we can't do anything over here. We can't go back a year from now and change the price of your home. But we can go back and change the rate that you paid. So if you're using this buy down for the first year, rates do continue to trend down, which is what a lot of us are expecting to happen, even though there's not a crystal ball. Then you get the best rate and the best price. And now you're setting your family up for success. And I always tell buyers, I said, that's your kids. When they have little kids, that's your college fund. You're living in your college fund. So the right way. So, I mean, just to put it in perspective, one of the things we had talked about either backstage or in one of the episodes that we threw away, on a $400,000 loan, that's $4,000 coming out of the branch to help people buy. That truly makes house A on Elm Street better than house B on Elm Street if they're the same house. Exactly. It makes your home more appealing. So it's really a benefit to, and that where we came up with the buyer flex credit was for buyers, but it really is a benefit for listing agents. Market your home, show them you're doing more than the guy next door is doing. 2 things are going to happen. 3 things are going to happen. You're more likely to get the home sold, which is what everybody wants. You're more likely to pick up a buyer when they come through and see the QR code with how did they get this? And they go, well, the place down the street didn't have that. I want to work with this person. They know what they're doing. The guy down the street threw a bunch of MLS flyers and the business cards on the counter. Anybody can do that. That's not being a realtor. That's not being.
But this is making them stand out, and it's giving a tangible benefit to a buyer that's coming in to possibly purchase their house. So it's a win-win for everyone. I think that we need to explain it and educate around it, that it's not an inflated rate. You're not dealing with a fly-by-night mortgage company that's offering this program. We've been in this area for going on 15 years in this location, in the area over 20 years. And then on top of that, we have over 5,000 I say this wrong every single time, 3,000 5-star local reviews. So we're not some online lender. We're here in the community and we're trying to help push forward some of these listings and get our inventory under control and get back to business.
Yeah. And it is. And I've known you for years and I know how important people are to you in the community. I mean, we just did that big event, that Mindset Over Market event, which was incredible. And it was truly just to reset agents' minds because so many people are struggling right now. There was a NAR statistic that 70% of agents haven't closed a deal this year or something along those lines. I don't want to misquote it, but it was something insane that really was eye-opening. And there's some people that I've talked to who have been in the business for years and go, it's too tough. I don't want to do it anymore. But this is truly a way to not make it tough and really separate yourself. And we are starting to see the roller coaster go back up the hill. In this market, because it's a vacation market, we all live here. We don't consider it that, but people do vacation here. It's always got the ups and downs, the roller coaster effect. But we are starting to see things turn. We need a year without a hurricane. We need a year where they maybe get some snow up north. And we're right back to where we were 3-4 years ago.
And I think it's lost on us that we truly do live in paradise. Like it's beautiful here. We drive to work every day and we come across a bridge that, you just see beautiful waterways and we forget that we are in a tourist destination. We are in a second home community, even though we live and work here.
I forgot that this morning when it took me 40 minutes to get into work, because as I'm going over the bridge, I'm complaining and bitching about traffic. And I go, but it is kind of pretty, you know.
It's really pretty.
And when I go somewhere else, when I go back up north to Baltimore, where I'm from, I go, I'm complaining about traffic at Cape Coral and Fort Myers. That is nothing.
No, I mean, you think about it, people commute hours going into, like, say, from Connecticut to New York City or what have you. We complain about the extra 20 minutes that it might take us to get over the Cape Coral Bridge. And
the extra 20 minutes looking at the river and palm trees and $1 million homes. It's a rough life.
That is a terrible life. So to kind of set the stage for this podcast, like, what are we expecting to do with it? That our plan for anyone watching is to be dropping these on Thursdays and putting them on all of the platforms. And so our goal is to bring you not only a tangible thing you can use if you're a real estate agent to help you either A, sell more properties, or B, move the ones you already have, right? Attract more buyers. We're going to be featuring some market updates with some of the loan officers from across the state that we have on our team. So we have people up in Sarasota County. We have people in Broward, Orlando. So we're going to be bringing on special guests, whether they're from our team or from an industry adjacent field. So think title, think insurance, to pick their brains about ways that we can get creative to help prospective home buyers and or realtors. And then we're going to be bringing you a loan product that we think you might want to put in your tool belt to be able to sell more homes or offer more creative ways to get people into homes. So does that sum it up, Dave?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And, one of the other things that I don't know if you hit it and I missed it, but we want to bring in listing agents. So we have 2 great properties today that are using the Flex Credit programs on their listings. So we want to highlight listings at that point too, and invite agents to reach out to us, get on the schedule, and come in and chat with us. You and I are very serious when it comes to business, but outside of the business world, we like to yuck it up a little bit. To me, this is a fun way to kind of, put some attention on agents who are doing the extra work, doing the right things, give it some education to buyers and agents, but also have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, because if you could sit in our office, most days there's a joke flying somewhere, not always HR appropriate, but they're there, right?
Yeah, well.
And I just call you out on.
Yeah,
on
they just. Anytime HR comes on my computer, I get a flag that pops up in the corner. I get 2 more strikes. We're good.
So one of the goals for us with this podcast is also, like Dave said, to bring in listing agents to feature their property. And every week we're going to be highlighting a couple of properties that the seller has taken advantage of the Buyer Flex Credit. So the properties we'll be showcasing today actually come with the Buyer Flex Credit when using the seller's preferred lender, which is us. So a little bit of a shameless plug there.
Right.
But we want to just jump right into.
Yeah, let's jump into the properties. Okay. So there's a couple of them. The very first one is 4551 Fort Center Ave. Right. Are you showing everybody our notes?
No, I was actually trying to. So we started it out backtrack a little bit, but that's okay because this is our first rodeo, right? How a 1.0 buy down works, because we talked about it, but sometimes the visual is really helpful.
Yeah.
So if you're a prospective buyer and you decided to use the 1.0 buy down, I just use this as an example. This is only an example. It is not for this property or any property featured. But if you were to buy a $400,000 loan with a 5% down payment on a 30-year mortgage with a 6.75 rate, and you took advantage of a 1.0 buy down, you would save roughly $247 a month for the first year, or a total of $3,000. So that would increase the cash flow into your home, $247 a month for that first year, which would make it more affordable for you to get in.
And far more affordable than when prices go up next year.
Yep. So, and then on year 2, it reverts to the actual payment of the $2,465. So it's not a permanent buy down; it's a temporary buy down. Mm-hmm. But you get that 12-month breathing room. And like Dave said earlier, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly where rates are going, but all indicators point to we're going to start to see rates trickling down. So it's not a far-fetched idea that you would have the opportunity to refinance somewhere shortly after that first year.
So that's a great thing to bring up too while we're talking, Deanna, is, we offer the no lender fee refi, or customer for life, I believe it's called. Mm-hmm. Explain that a little bit to people.
So our Customer for Life program is once you have closed a loan with community lending, you will never pay underwriting and processing again with us. So it's a $595. We waive $595 and $995 in total costs. Whether you're buying a second home, you're buying an investment property, whether you're just refinancing the home you have, we honor it across the board for all of our returning customers.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
Again, think of the balloon. Buy it now at the lower price, refinance the rate. You used to have a saying, what is it?
Oh, that saying's been used so many times.
Yeah, I just saw it the other day and I thought of you.
Super cliche now, but date the rate, marry the house.
Yeah.
The most overused saying in the last 3 years, I think, that I've heard.
Yeah.
And I think I might have been one of the people that started with it, but it's been used a lot. And I think, people have been using it for 3 years. I mean, everybody's like, when are rates coming down? When are rates are coming down? But some of the economic data that's coming out now suggests that we are entering the area where we're going to start to see them trickle down. And this is a good time to say one of our loan officers here at Community Lending is a CFA and is very in tune with markets and just does an amazing presentation. So he's going to be somebody we feature over and over again, coming on to just talk about where rates are headed, what the market's doing. We're going to be bringing on guest realtors that have their thumb on the pulse here in Lee County with what's going on with the market here in Lee County and other areas as well. So just a really good commercial break to say we are going to be having some pretty substantial guests come on and talk through the details of whether it's rates or what the market actually is doing in our communities.
Yeah, and I think when we have Conroe, and one of the big things that I try to express to agents or buyers that I'm working with is rates are going to trickle down. We're not headed to 3.5% like we were a few years ago. And he can show the schematics of why, and that was a bit of an anomaly. And if I'm not mistaken, rates are right about where they should be on average for the past 75 years.
Mm-hmm. So that's how a 1.0 buy down works. Of course, we saw a butterfly, and that's how we roll
right
over here. But that's how a 1.0 buy down works. And then, of course, you could not use the buy down, or you could not use the credit for the buy down, and you could use it to reduce the cash needed to close. So it increases your flexibility, this program, and it works with a variety of financial needs. So you're able to use it where you and your family need it most if you're a buyer watching this. The other thing to note as we go into the properties is not every buyer will approve for a buyer flex credit. And not every scenario will. There are some loan programs that we cannot offer this on. So the first thing to do to find out whether you can or cannot qualify is get with one of us. And our phone numbers are on the screen. But the next two properties we're going to be featuring do offer the buyer flex credit. Again, not everybody approves. I would say about 90% of people can use it. But there is that 10% that, depending on what program they're choosing to go into, may or may not allow it.
And I think, another big thing we want to stress, Deanna, and I don't want to speak for you, but it's kind of a limited time thing because, as market conditions improve, there's going to be less of a need for it. So Take advantage of it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you're trying to show your value as an agent.
All right. So let's roll right into those properties. So this first one, it's out in Fort Denard. It's kind of my dream home. The only thing it's missing for me is a pond. But that's because I'm a water baby. But tell me about it, Dave. What do we got?
Well, first off, ponds bring reptiles, so Dave's not coming to visit. But this is listed by Amanda Boots, great agent. She's over at LPT 239-560-3310. It's a phenomenal little mini farm out in Fort Denard. It's over 2 acres, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet. It's got a 4-stall barn that was just built in 2023. Nice 2-car garage. And if you like country living, it's a steal.
Look at that front porch.
Yeah.
Like, wow. So Dave, what do you think about this? You move out here?
That's too far for me. I'm a city kid.
You can't picture yourself having a margarita right like back here and
I can, but it's kind of like having a boat. I don't have a boat. I have friends with boats. I don't need people. I don't need to own a farm. I need somebody that owns a farm.
Doesn't this one come with a brand new 4-stall barn?
Brand new 4-star barn, and then of course the big chicken coop.
No need for chickens, Dave, in Dave's world.
No.
Do you like eggs?
I got some friends of mine asked me to watch their dog the other day, and they go, "Oh, can you look after the chickens too?" Nope, can't do chickens. No, I don't know anything about them.
Oh, we're gonna have to work on that. So beautiful property though, nice kitchen. Just really nice property. And like, if you're like me and you like the space, I mean, chickens, bonfires, it's really cool property.
Yeah, it's it could be a blast for a weekend party. I'm picturing a couple of campers in the back, and I'll be there for that.
But only that.
I haven't cut my grass in 15 years because we're in a gated community.
So what Dave's saying is if there's alcohol involved and he doesn't have to cut grass, he's good. But beyond that, he's out. Now, this is like I said, my dream property. Beautiful, beautiful. So moving on. This one is offered by Amanda Boots again with LPT Realty, and we'll give you her phone number. Dave, do you know it by heart?
So we'll give it to him at the end, but I do have it right here. It is 239 560-3310.
All right. So if you're interested in this property, reach out to Amanda Boots or one of us and we'll connect you. Yep. And then the next one we have, just scrolling through, is this 4006 East 2nd Street in Lehigh Acres. And so Dave, want to tell us about that one?
Yeah. So this is, and I'm sorry, I should have hyphen or, what's it? Phonetics, how you phonetically spell something, because I'll butcher her name. Marina Sozina. She's over at Berkshire Hathaway. Her number is 330-808-5859. But this is an awesome little property. It's a 2-year-old home built in 2023. It's got a brand new pool. Like you said, it's eligible for our buy down. And then one of the notes she made sure to put in here for me is insurance, extremely inexpensive. Less or $1,800 a year. And it's being sold partially furnished. So a pool home at $425, partially furnished, almost brand new.
Nice kitchen.
Coconut and banana trees. So what we have to do is get these agents together. We go party at the Fort Denaud house, but we do get the daiquiris and margaritas from the Lehigh house.
There you go. And I mean, it makes sense to me.
So don't scroll too far, because I said I was from Baltimore, but I didn't say I was the Pollock from Baltimore. When I first looked at this picture, I'm like, that is a very odd wall with those doors. And I didn't realize that the photos had been spliced together. But the colors match so well that I went, that's just weird. I can't figure that out.
It's the kitchen and the bathroom concept. Haven't you heard of this?
And I'm trying to peek around the wall.
It's kind of like a space saver thing people are doing these days. No, it's Deanna trying to get creative and cut down the amount of slides. So I put them on one. Yeah. But no, this is actually the bathroom over here to the left. Very nicely done. And then on the right, you will see the kitchen, and no, it is not in the same room.
Yep.
So moving on to the next one, there's a better picture of the bathroom. Yeah. Nice shower, nice looking property.
I love the gray and white look. So there's everybody's contact information, or you can reach out to Deanna or I directly, and we'll get you connected. And then one of the other things, so neither of those homes are in a gated community, but one of the other things we like to do is we wanted to put a little section in here about, make people laugh or make people think. So I have a couple I'm working on, because I don't know if everybody knows, but the Kid Coral was started by the Rosen brothers from my hometown, and they were a bit of snake oil salesmen, but it's a phenomenal story. So we'll kind of get into that a little bit. But you had mentioned the other day that you had someone ask you, and after we've talked through this now, I don't even want to bring it up because I think it's a phenomenal business plan. If hurricane shutters came in designer colors, is that true?
Yep.
So
setting the stage. So first and foremost, if you know me at all, I am the least aesthetic person. Like, I know what I like when I walk into a room, but if you ask me to go and make that room, it looks like Helen Keller and I got together and threw up on it. Like, it's just bad. Like, I should not be allowed to decorate ever. So when somebody is like super aesthetic and they're like really interested in making their home look super nice or their office look super nice, I'm not the person anyone should call. So I have this customer that says to me, she's moving down from a northern state, and she's like, I really think these hurricane shutters are ugly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, never really thought about it like that, but I suppose they might be, you know? And so she's like, is there any way to get these in like designer colors or patterns? And I'm like, I don't know. But then talking to you, you were telling me like, listen, in the HOAs,
Yeah.
go ahead with that.
So in our community, I know others are the same way, and I haven't followed up on the rules. I'm more of a forgiveness, not permission person now. But it was if you were a seasonal resident, and you wanted to put your hurricane shutters up for summer and leave, they had to be painted the same color as the house, so that you didn't have that metal. Now, I don't know that rule was ever enforced, because especially after the last couple of years where we've had some storms where people have left for extended periods of time, you see the silver ones everywhere. But I started thinking about this, and I'm like, God, could you imagine somebody with the talent, and it's not me, and I don't think it's you,
Definitely not
but like to paint sea turtles or dolphins or something like that on the hurricane shutters? And then wouldn't that be a neat way to make sure that you put the right shutter on the right window? Because anybody that's ever put them up before,
So like
that has multiple windows.
So like Garanimals, so now I'm dating
Took the word
myself.
out of my mouth.
Garanimals for hurricane shutters. The giraffes go on the front door, and the sea turtles go on the sliders.
The dolphin goes in window 3 from tail to tip. We need to stop this podcast now and get on that.
Cut it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this has been a lot of fun, and I hope that the people that are watching enjoyed it as much as we did. Next week, same time, same place, same channel.
Same time, same place. We have, I think we have a couple agents coming in to talk about their listings. So that'd be cool to see how this works with more people involved, because, you know, it's you and I talk every day. I talk to you more than I talk to my wife. So as we talk every day, how much more do we have to talk about? But as we bring more people in, I think it's going to open up some great stories. It's going to open up some fun things to talk about, and maybe open some eyes away. Some of these successful agents are doing business in what's considered a tough market right now.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I'm really excited to see what we do with this. And so if you're an agent that wants your property featured, get with one of us. If you're a buyer looking to purchase your first home, second home, investment property, let us know, because the Buyer Flex credit works for all of those. It's not just one or the other, as long as it meets the program guidelines. So give us a buzz. Our cell phone numbers are right underneath our name. So I'm 239-878-0107, and Dave's 239-246-7270. And hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Great time. We'll see you next week.